Yo, what's up? Mic check, webcam check. भाई सब चेक सब चाहिए भाई. ओ भाई. क्या करने वाले हैं आज? आज फिर से भाई वही डेली रूटीन भाई, डेली. कोई फर्क नहीं है, कोई भी कुछ भी फर्क नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं मेरे भाई. बस अभी स्पीकर लेना बाकी है. तो मे भी भाई वेबकैम तुम्हें बहुत अच्छा लग रहा होगा, राइट? काफ़ी हद तक अच्छा ही लग रहा होगा. ये फोकस का थोड़ा सा इशू होता है इस वाले वेबकैम में. तो मे बी मैं काफ़ी ठीक ही है यार, मतलब ये हद तक तो ठीक ही है. लग तो वही रहा है. तो कोई टेंशन है नहीं, सबसे पहली बात. तो भाई आज की मैच में भाई जिन वर्सेस टीएच खेलने वाली है. तो भाई देखना पड़ेगा भाई. मुझे लग रहा है भाई जिंजी जीतेगी भाई. मुझे टोटली लग रहा है कि जिंजी जीतेगा आज. तो कोई टेंशन है नहीं, सबसे पहली बात. तो भाई आज की मैच में भाई जिंजी वर्सेस टीएच खेलने वाली है. तो भाई देखना पड़ेगा भाई. मुझे लग रहा है भाई जिंजी जीतेगी भाई. मुझे टोटली लग रहा है कि जिंजी जीतेगा आज. सब सीन सॉर्ट है. वेबकैम सही तो लग रहा है. तो अभी दिक्कत ये है कि भाई सबसे पहले ओपन करो, ट्विच पे जाओ.
It's been ridiculous all year long.
Yeah, no, it couldn't.
इसका स्ट्रीम ओपन करो यार.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream.
When you're relentless.
Okay, we got this.
सॉन्ग क्या कर रहा है?
Oh, I forgot what I typed. That
What is
is
he doing?
rocket thing.
Still playing?
Raise rocket no work. I had to type.
7-7, damn.
TP dead.
Playing a neon.
Nothing crazy though.
इसका देखो यार. देखो भाई.
Reloading.
Have a judge, bro. What?
Gotta go.
Run the rotate.
You already know how this goes. Do a little dronage. I walk down with it.
Yeah.
I don't walk down with it.
right now.
Long, two.
I'm flash.
Actually important.
One long. One long was yours. Gimme.
One enemy remaining.
Oh! Up top, down below, in the smoke. Too slow.
It's all good. We got Derek Overwatch.
Give me gun again. Give me.
Can't do it.
I'm out of here.
Can't take much more of this.
Win, Mimi.
Thumbs are off after this game.
Go.
थोड़ा सा भाई प्रैक्टिस करेंगे.
I don't wanna be bothered.
Can't ruin it for other people, Mimis.
I'm gonna try my hard.
समझ रहे हो? तो गेम ओपन करते हैं. थोड़ा सा वार्म अप ले लेंगे. वार्म अप लेने के बाद अगर वॉच पार्टी करेंगे तो ब्रो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा ना यार. समझ रहे हो? वॉच पार्टी करने में मज़ा तब है जब तुम वार्म अप करके जाते हो. फिर से मैं वार्म अप करता हूँ ब्रो. आधे से एक घंटा में फिर से आके वार्म अप करता हूँ. यहाँ पे लाइव स्ट्रीम पे दिख रहा होगा भाई इतना बड़ा लाइव स्ट्रीम क्या जा रहा है भाई. जब तू पीसी में बैठ के गेम्स खेला करेगा भाई तुझे दिन क्या रात क्या पता ही नहीं चलेगी. समझ रहा है? तो अबे कट होना यार. अबे कट हो जा. प्रैक्टिस.
アルティメットいけるぞ
think we are learning. Okay, so here is the just thing that if everyone's think like if we jump and we make a Q option for the high jump, so with actually a lot of people think Jet can actually do a high jump like this. But no, this is actually not true. If you're standing up by like a normal and getting killed, now it's getting more higher. So remember that. हाँ हेलो
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
वालेकुम सलाम बोलो मैं
फोन करे तो फोन नहीं उठाते
अरे तुम्हारा फोन नहीं आया मैं अब जस्ट आया सो आप उठाया नहीं है
देखो फोन
नहीं मैं नहीं आया था सही में अब भाई चाहे ना मैं
क्या
उठाया
नहीं आया तुझे भी करे रहमान को भी करी
रहमान का मालूम नहीं लेकिन मन जब भी चाहे ना मैं अब उठाया अंदर रूम में है
नाश्ता करे
आओ नाश्ता कर लिए गोलियां खाना सब अब गोलियां खा रहा हूँ मैं
टाइम कहीं नको 1 घंटे को
अमी नहीं मी वैसा नहीं मी सुनो ना मी ये क्या है तुम्हें नब कल टॉयलेट में से फतरे निकले मुझे
कितने
वो दे गया नहीं लेकिन फुल दर्द दिया मुझे
हां
फुल दर्द दिया निकलने के टाइम पर तो कंटिन्यू करें
from that sort of dominant force that they were within the stage 2 of EMEA. Either way, fully slipped from that sort of dominant force that they were within the stage 2 of EMEA. Either way, the first
Gen.G, Lotus, they're high, somewhere that they're going to feel high through. So, although it's a different map, comfort level on that comp.
Oh
should
my
be the
god,
same.
what a
Karen
perfect
sitting
timing.
around mid, very late in the game. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Texture to at least drop his one. Spams are good, and Heretics find the kill.
Texture.
Now that laneway, all that stands between the defuse, the round victory. Munchkin, though, manages to drop Woot, and they've already destroyed the wingman.
Yeah, post-plant lineups already coming in.
Oh,
Making it incredibly difficult for anybody to get near that spike. We see Heretics do this exact same sort of post, just sitting back, holding, sending utility on towards that spike, and then just pre-firing this angle. Even still, though, they have managed to get it to half, but they need a little bit more, and that time is ticking too far.
Oh my
the
god,
post-plant again on the B
lineup.
site works out.
Damn.
Gen.G are going to kick things off with a pistol.
Absolutely beautiful play from Gen.G. Even with Texture not finding his ones up close, that utility that they have to fall back on is absolutely insane. And we've seen teams falter to exactly like you said, Tom. That setup from Heretics, they're on their way back in. It's a laneway plant. There's only one way that you can peek it. They put down a grab well to try to deal with these players and buy the time to get the defuse. And I think it was a counter grab well that ended up stopping the defuse going half. That was the difference between the round going to Heretics and Gen.G getting off to a flying start. 1-0 facing into an eco.
Yeah, a very heavy investment here from Gen.G. They've gone for rifles and every single player. You can't really afford to lose any players here, otherwise it's going to be some severe cost. But sticking with the Guardians, maybe, I don't know, we saw some pretty impressive battles between Ion and Riens when we saw this map played versus FPX. So maybe they're trying to steal a leaf out of the book of the Guardian. Plenty of positions that can be wallbanged. Again, if you talk about that post plant on the B site, we saw Boo attempting to try and do the same with an Odin. For now, though, for Heretics, it's exactly what you expect. Your Sentinel alone on the B site, just trying to get information, and then a 4-man stack on A.
Even though they've got the numbers, hard to convert the kills up against the rifles in play for Gen.G, even if they do go running into them. For now, though, a couple of shots fired. It's Boo spamming through and almost going down. He's on 15 HP. It's all a ruse from Gen.G. They make early noise, they keep the stack on A, and now the rotation comes in. The pressure onto a man like Benji Fishy was a classic and 2 traps to play off of. It's going to be very difficult to find the value. His camera's already been taken back.
30 seconds left.
I like the trap we're seeing here up top, trying to cancel out any updraft dashes. But it's just a conventional push from Gen.G, and they know exactly where Benji is. Nice and clean.
A Texture.
Nobody else really on spot. And some aim practice early on for Texture. It's going to be another 4K.
Oh my god,
and another to the
4.
collection. It's been spoken about quite a bit, how many days it's been since Texture got an ace. I think it was only probably mere rounds since the last time he got a 4K, but another one on the books, and more importantly, he's now 2 away from a Blade Storm.
Yeah, I think it's been like 14 4Ks so far, give or take. It was 114 days. Can't quite get that ace, but hey, you wouldn't want to do it against an eco anyways, right? We want that to be a meaningful ace. If he's going to do it, maybe it's here. They've still got a lot to work with on Gen.G. 4 Guardians and a Bulldog coming into round 3. Team Heretics invest heavily. All the credits are on the line, and a loss here means a big extension by Gen.G and a big lead early on for the attackers. Same approach, players spread on B and mid, while the other 3 look for some control over A main. Happy to take a fight if they're offered it. Happy to take the orb if they're not.
Yeah, I think someone to highlight within this match as well is going to be Miniboo. We've talked about his individual performance. This map, he definitely struggled. 9 and 20, even falling down the gap in mid
Oh, Munchkin.
for one of those deaths. And sure, he came into the series late, again, like leading the way through at the end, but
Nice
definitely
break,
dangerous
though.
territory if he's not going to have those performances, because well, one of the more exciting things is we do have Meteor back on that duelist with Breeze removed. It wasn't something that he's been playing too recent, but we know he's incredible at it.
We see the orbs all farmed up on Meteor. How important it is for him to have his ult for entering in. Trap, it's caught. Texture, will he make it back? Just about. He's safe for now. Boo, not so much though. Dropped after just the 1. The spike dropped. They know it's on its way to B, and there's reinforcements coming through. Miniboo's there to back them up, but they can't quite stop that plant.
Dark
Oh, he
I
raided!
don't know exactly where
He
Meteor is.
raided!
Nowhere else really
Meteor!
been to stand. Karen's position has already been spotted, and a lot of low players now for the side of Gen G. Bonus
Oh,
not
yeah.
exactly going to plan, and well, it seems like it's only going to get a little
Oh
bit
my
worse.
God, bro!
As we will see
A
Texture
Texture.
fall off the edge of the map.
Damn.
Well, we definitely need the replay from Benji. He even did a little dance, a little emote at
Oh
the
my
end.
God, this is like a...
Yeah, early
not
on,
good,
you're
bro.
seeing the
This is
falling
not
dead
good
side.
for me,
I don't know if
bro.
that's off the initial trap. Maybe it pulled him back in. I think he put an updraft into play.
Damn.
And sometimes it can act a little bit like a slingshot.
Well, I think he dashed backwards.
He
God.
did at first, and then I think an updraft.
Spike down.
Oh, there he
B.
goes.
30 seconds left.
Oh, yeah, he was falling for quite a long time. This had been happening for a while, evidently, but he's having a good time at least. And of course, the last round flawless financially. Gen G are going to be able to go back into this round with another purchase. In fact, they're in a great spot overall, even having themselves a dimensional drift onto Meteor, which we already seen from Life can really cause mass amount of issues on this map. I think a lot of teams still are not completely comfortable on Abyss just yet. It's still by far the newest map in the pool, and I'm waiting to see, well, if Heretics have got something planned. This aggressive push might be just that.
Yeah, the cam has flipped around to mid this time. Not looking for the same control deep on B. Leaving no one there to watch the push up. Hoping the cam will do the job. But it's Meteor's ultimate, and they farmed it up. I expect them to use it in a round like this. Credits on the line. And for Heretics, a little bit of a moneymaker in the last. There goes the ult, immediate TP, so he's nice and close, ready to take this. Already spotting the first. There's a lot of info now. They know there's 3 players here. The decoy is going to be used, sending them back alongside the recon. This is site control and a plant for Gen G.
Yeah, this is all they want. Gets them into that post plant again. At least it will do. Slightly moved the plant, but it's still going to be a difficult.
Oh, a
place to fight for,
Meteor!
especially with Meteor up close. That's going to get cleared out by the drone. That's something at least. And
Oh,
actually,
this
he
is
gets
bad,
dropped.
bro. This is
Trying
bad,
to maneuver
bro.
himself
This is
back
bad,
out of
man.
position. Utility being thrown in for Heretics, but they've still got 4 to find.
Okay, Texture already spotted, but he's going!
Oh!
Through
Oh
already!
my God!
Takes away the ace possibility, and again,
Oh my
he'll
God,
be
bro.
denied the 5th. But Gen G win the round, and I guess that's all that matters. Spirits are definitely high on that roster.
Oh my God, son.
He's got 4 kills in 2 rounds. That's all his kills on the board at the moment. 8 and 2. It's funny. Last round he falls off the map, having a little bit of a laugh, and now he's the one
Oh my
dumping, and
God, this is
absolutely
so
everybody else
perfect.
just so clean with it. And I don't even think there's arguments at the moment for who is the best player in the world. This guy is just tearing everybody apart.
Against a team like Heretics as well. So many individuals we write home about. We've seen them perform on the international stage, make deep runs into the tournament, but
that's the story, isn't it? The story is literally they're going through the teams that they have to play at in the finals of international events. That's what Gen G are doing. The latest, of course, was Heretics over in Shanghai, which they won, but I don't know. The way they're playing at the moment, it's already looking a little bit scary.
seems almost undeniable. One of the best teams in the world, we know, but it could be the Texture. Good for one, and the dash keeps him on the map. He's not falling this time.
Damn.
And it's Miniboo who loses his life early on, trading out the death of Meteor. And look at the shift from Gen G. They know the rotates have come in. And sure, the drone is going to see that no one has actually pushed through that gap, and the Texture's fallen back, but it's all about the position of Boo. He's able to catch Karen, confirming the rotation they suspected, and now slowing them down. The Stars put to cover his retreat, and he's right back to middle. No need to take that fight. With 40 seconds on the clock, the pressure's on for Gen G to find an opening.
Yeah, his only goal was to buy time. The rest of the team fully rotating, but it seems like Gen G might just go back. And while Benji, I think he's made that realization.
30 seconds left.
Even still, though, Munchkin could just make a little bit of noise, try and attempt to bait them, and actually, without spotting anything out, he's continued this push. His teammates starting to come back, but the cam is going to give the game away. And now you're going to see Woot get back into position. Even still, a potential for a 1 versus 1, but with the time so desperately low, there was a moment for Boo. But they are going to be making their way on. A nice kill for Woot at least. 7 seconds, and there's the spam. That's a spike down. Round already over. Arians will add the final nail in the coffin. It's a second on the board for Heretics. And what a big round from Boo.
Great push and pull, and yeah, it's just the fact that they get Boo into that position. Gen G have played slow. They've pressured A. They've made noise in a number of rounds, but they've always left Karen behind and often Munchkin to watch middle. But Karen wasn't sitting outside B this time. Any other round, Boo would have had an early fight on his hands, a scrap, but instead, Snake in the grass, confirms the rotation, and locks in the round as a result. That's 3-2 now. The gap not going to be extended by Gen G, but they're still able to buy up, still have that Hunter's Fury to work with after last round. And a slower approach, this time more focused on that B site. They want to catch Boo pushed up, but he's not giving them the fight.
I think a lot of this is going to come down to timing.
Big fake on
Utility
A.
being expended into that A site. The Viper screen put there, but it is all a ruse. I think maybe the TP will have been heard. I think Boo was close enough, has that information, but caught sleeping at the wheel. Now it's on to Woot to try and defend this. The flash was good, but the counter flash was even better.
He's just stuck in the corner. He can't even retreat for free, knowing there could be someone peeking from the box. He's trying to force the fight. Catch at least one as they fall back from these plant positions, but there's nothing to be found. Rooting himself around the edge, and there it is.
Oh,
the element of surprise
it.
against Texture. Nice ranged fight with Karen down. That's some of the utility at least removed, and an early snake bite will buy them a little bit of time. The thrash on its way, and it's caught Meteor. Only one man can defend him. Lackey is firing out the shock darts, delaying the defuse at least for a moment. Hunter's Fury now comes in to do the same. Fired off once, gets its mark. Second shot's good. Third will be a kill, but it's already half. They've got the kills from Meteor though. He got two in the space of a second.
Done, bro?
That's Gen G locking in another round.
Yeah, I was thinking with the post-plant utility that was available for Heretics, like, Woot did fantastically well, like being able to put the Molotov just to force a player into an angle, then uses the Thrash as well to basically just keep someone in position.
Oh my God,
it's just the late round utility from Lakia. His post-plant has been disgusting. That bought enough time, and wow, this is why we always want to see Meteor back on that duelist. If he was on any other team, that's probably where he would be. The other guy's texture, though.
Meteor does enough, even in the first kill, without the insane spray correction. Like, you've probably won it off of time alone, a 1v1 where they can't push Lakia and take him down. But considering the fact that Thrash goes out, there's 3 players alive. The first one that it would have hit was caught in a mosh pit and got dropped in time. It allowed the Thrash to instead go on to Meteor. At that point, Lakia is in a 1v4 for the next couple seconds. It doesn't look like he can stop it, but he'd already fired out that shock dart, beautifully timed. The Diffuser happens to be low. Then Hunter's Fury that we mentioned earlier, used for the post plant, catches not just the wingman, but the man who put out the wingman in Woot. For Meteor to hit those shots as well, another nail in the coffin. 4-2, and the problem with that, after a couple of losses in the previous round, Heretics, some of these players are going to be struggling for money.
I need to get my medicine.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not looking like a great position to fight from on this defensive side. Obviously, they had an incredibly close victory versus FPX, but that was always the gamble. Like, I think the way that the veto went was somewhat expected in terms of the bans. Sunset has been by far the best map of Team Heretics. You can understand why they would want to go there, so it being removed by Gen G makes sense. And then for Heretics, okay, they haven't played Abyss. Maybe they're not ready to go in that direction, so they've gone for that pick instead.
A hero operator on Miniboo. Everyone else with the pistols. If you're going to have a chance, this is one way to try to seize it back. Well, he's forced out of position right away. The spams back to Lakia, light him up. And the shift from Gen G to the other side of the map. The question here, it's not even about the numbers on Heretics and where they go. It's about where does Miniboo go? Does he suspect this rotation? I already see him in middle. If he makes it to A in time, maybe they can grab a pick, but it looks like the stack will stick on B.
Yeah, the gamble is that maybe he can save the op, maybe he can win them the round with it, and even if not, he has the Blade Storm for the next round. The bigger problem, though, is that Boo's going to be under serious pressure, and he has nothing to play with. He expects the DP to win that initial fight. Done incredibly well to read the gap of where his opponent's going to be, and now pushing into this. Actually has risks about it.
Oh my God, bro, Boo!
Range, a singular headshot is enough. And Boo's given them a real chance in this round.
He gets the smoke up too. They win the fight through the wall. Munchkin and Lakia, the last two alive. And a late flank from Munchkin might just pay dividends. The reveal goes up and he's already spotted one, but Miniboo.
Oh my God!
Tingling.
Why did it not kill?
You can feel those eyes on him. Turns to take the kill, and with that, Heretics
oh my
win
God,
out the round. And it's nothing to do with the op, really. Sure for the last kill, but Boo finding that little gap to play inside of, and the fact that they pressure him. I also thought it was funny. He killed Meteor, and then he shot the decoy later in case they had a second Yoru.
But the thing is as well, this is now a couple of times that we've seen Meteor TP into this backside. I think one was the round where Riens gets the opener. This time they even put the Cosmic Divide into position to allow him an angle, but it's just something that clearly Heretics are very aware of, especially Boo. Just knows exactly what that's going to be. And then it creates an awkward fight for Texture. As said, you're running through a corner of a Cosmic Divide, even versus a low player. That can cause problems. Fantastic read from the IGL, but it does feel like a bit of an oversight from Gen G to keep giving these early fights in low buy rounds.
I think they just assumed after making noise on the other side of the map, that would be the gap that was available for them. The blind stopped Boo from being able to deliver the op shot into what could have been a collateral. Gen G, second lease of life on this. Another orb taken. Meteor just one away from the dimensional drift. And they have a Viper's Pit to work with. And a low buy round like this, that could be invaluable. But I see Munchkin's role in this round won't be to get on site and plant it. Instead, he's the one sitting back, trying to catch that late lurk, and had a lot of success with it last round, although he didn't get the kills. He got into position.
Yeah, this is the thing. Finances, not great. Really good opportunity for Heretics to equalize this one. The site, however,
Could see Pit.
is going to be taken. Yeah, it's whether or not they want to invest it with, maybe if they had a couple of SMGs. The pistols aren't bad, but they are going to risk it. They're going to gamble, and already,
Oh my god.
well, they're going to have to fight from a disadvantage. An interesting Pit, one that takes an awful lot of control. If you're going to push through it, you need so much, but they're going to have to spam onto the players attempting to tap that spike.
Yeah, the problem is they can't even see when it's being stuck. You got to get that a little bit closer. It's going to be a risk. But for Team Heretics, trying to negotiate their way back into the pit is a problem. Up close, no utility.
No!
That diffuser, it's all down to spams, and right under their nose, it's coming across the line. Already, the round is sealed. Texture, a formality as he falls. And 4-4 we go. A nice attempt on a low buy round from Gen G, but it doesn't work out this time.
I really didn't even know
I
what's
think
going
again,
on, but
either it was that they wanted to try and just leave a very narrow angle that you knew the player would diffuse just outside, or they were maybe hoping it just went a tiny bit deeper. That's the only other option. I don't mind the idea, because a lot of the time you're going to have to force people to try and run through the entirety of that pit. Nonetheless, a single ultimate expended, not a whole lot of damage. And that operator's now going to go back into the hands of Miniboo. He's looking for an early fight towards this side of the map. And well, unfortunately, he's going to be met with Meteor.
Well, actually, Meteor seems to be going towards the back of the site for now. Just taking the control, the dash in from Texture to meet him. They've got boots on the ground.
That was a
and
nice
Team Heretics decide not to compete with this one. The decoy sent through, just ignored. Gen G, they have Texture going up close. I thought for a second he's going into that right corner, but the smoke's fading. He'll tuck away and play this post plant with the squad.
Immediate flash. Drone to follow. They're going to know where Texture is, but the rest of the team is still elusive for the rest. And even still getting past this double duelist could be tough. Texture combining Meteor with another. And although they've lost Munchkin, I don't think it's going to matter. Lakia doesn't quite connect. Benji's been given a small opportunity, but again, Texture is there, leaving it to just Boo, and he won't last long whatsoever. Gen G extend their lead once again, and once more, this double duelist is as fearsome as ever.
I love this setup. Yeah, it's the fact that you've got Texture taking the initial fight, tanking the drone at the start, and then he's swinging back, spraying them while Meteor jumps up top. And then later in the round, you have a little bait onto Woot. He's looking one way, ready to take Meteor down, and he gets swung from behind. Absolutely gorgeous from Gen G. 5 rounds on the board now. And a chance to push it further. If they win this one, again, credits are going to be struggling on that defensive side. Big opportunity for the attackers.
Of course, a lot of the success came from Heretics with their post plants on that attack. Even though things went to OT, they really were disgustingly strong when it came to the B side. As we've seen from the other side, a much faster paced move here. It's going to be Benji completely caught off guard. Meteor's already managed to get that opener. Riens is still trying to just hold on to some ground, but the A site almost completely lost.
Yeah, Riens doesn't want to overcommit to this. He's heard a player come back up towards the top. They're ready for him. But another smoke goes down. The spams favoring Meteor. He's lit Woot to a fraction of his HP, down to 10. Texture falls. They're conscious that Meteor could be coming on the flank. Woot looks away just as he rounds the corner. That's going to be a late
Oh
flank
my
potential.
god, oh my
Look how far
god.
behind someone like Boo is. If they lose these players in the spawn, it could be over. Although Mini Boo's quick to correct. Keep it into a 3v3. Late flank by Boo, spotted. Known he has to win this fight to give them a chance to be able to pressure these players, but it's Lakia to come ahead. Mini Boo already on his third, hunting down the ace. It's been evading the jet on the other side, and he won't find it this time.
Damn,
Hunter's
nice
Fury burned
round,
up at the
though.
end,
Nice
but
round.
it's for a round win.
I like
6-4, and Team Heretics now in the dirt when it comes to credits.
Yeah, it was just to make sure that even though Miniboo was fighting, they got rid of the wingman. The defuse couldn't come through under their nose, and, well, 6-4, a 2-round lead. I've been liking this sort of pace change, right, with the fact that just immediately taking down Benji, like caught from behind, wasn't aware of how far they managed to get up mid. And from then onwards, again, it seems like once they get the sights and get into the post plant, it's been incredibly difficult for Heretics to get back into these rounds. Texture. Bladestorm active, and on the other side, again, some severe weaknesses.
I bet Miniboo got a little scared there.
I think we all
Grabbed
did.
onto that rope. Yeah, I was worried.
Small clench.
You know, they almost had last round, right? Heretics burned up the Bladestorm alongside the operator just to try to make that retake happen. So now there's a big disadvantage in those fights, and you see it manifested. Karen, though, able to find Miniboo, but it's traded out with Texture. Wooed up close, playing through the smokes. He hears them falling back and has to make a decision on whether he hunts them down.
Oh,
it's a risk.
My god.
Might just be worth taking this time. Catching them in the orb, but Meteor pulls out the gun just in time. Steps are heard by Boo. He's only got a sheriff. He might be able to find some value as they cross.
Yeah, he's been in this position before,
Oh,
though.
they're looking at.
Seems like they're still unaware of it, and he's actually done
got
a lot
it.
of damage
I
onto
just won.
Munchkin as well. Even still, though, Meteor's just farming. Rien's left. We've seen him pull off crazy rounds with the Guardian. This wouldn't even have to be the best of them. First kill's easy. But the other two players are going right over to the other side of the map, and he's still going to be wary. Because Karen likes to be left behind, likes to be left to lurk.
Euro got this spike, bro.
And for now, that's exactly what he's doing.
I love that from Meteor. They don't know where the last guy is, so they send out the gate crash towards the A site. He goes to link up with his teammates. Someone dies on B. All right, give me the spike. I'll go plant. And now you get that late round potential for Karen. Reveal goes out, so Karen knows he's not lurking on the right angle, but Meteor cleaning it up. 4 kills in this round, catching Rien's off guard to close it. And now 7-4. The lead guaranteed at the half. The question is, by how much?
Yeah, this was always the reason, or one of the reasons why their composition on Breeze was so deadly. It was the fact that just Texture and Meteor as a duo on Duelist has to be the best of the best. Like, it really does seem just impossible at times, and with his constant repositioning again, it's now going to be Meteor adding another 4K to the tally. 7-4 up. The map choice of Heretics. I think many, including myself, believe that Lotus is going to be a tough ask for Heretics to turn the series. And getting a 5th, maybe even a pistol.
Who's next?
It's going to be paramount.
Same TP we've seen before from Meteor. Uses the ult, gets up close. Last time, Heretics gave the site up completely. This time, that's not really an option with Boo so close, and the decoy distracts him just long enough.
Bro.
One more bullet could have done the job, and down she goes. Okay, Benji, able to eliminate Texture, keeps the numbers competitive, but Meteor's got a flash play, even on low health. He's not falling back, he won't be deterred, but the Hunter's Fury makes it more interesting.
3 still standing, but once more it's those post plants. Munchkin's even, well, we've seen this one before, sat there with an Odin in the backlines, just waiting to spam onto the spike. They've still got the snake bite available as well, and they can try and pull players away. Now they've cleared all of the close positions. Miniboo maybe having that realization, but there goes up the orb, and now it's left all onto Munchkin, just trying his best to buy as much time as possible. It has already been half though, which could be a problem. Miniboo needs this kill, while anything else isn't going to stop it. Heretics at least have managed to get themselves that 5th round, but even still, it's a solid half for Gen G.
Absolutely. Yeah, this attack side's really heated up, especially towards the end. Got their streak of rounds, and they've been looking competitive. Now we move to the defensive side, and a different challenge for them. But if players like Meteor and Texture can keep it up, this double duelist look incredibly strong here.
Either way, we're going to be off to the interview with some of Benji's family.
Damn, he's crazy, right? Oh my god, he's crazy. I do actually feel it, bro.
Benji Fishy do 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 do. I know, a little bit cringe, but a good segue for a halftime interview as I'm standing here with Mama Fishy and also Brother Fishy, aka Charles Fishy. So, hello everyone.
You alright? How's it going?
먼저 벤지 PC의 가족이죠. 엄마 PC와 형 PC 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 형 PC, 서울 생활은 좀 어떠신가요? So, how's Korea been so far for you?
It's been unbelievable. It's so hot though. I don't know how you can deal with it. Oh my god, I step outside and I'm just drenched in sweat. It's embarrassing.
날씨가 너무 더운데 너무 좋긴 좋은데 날씨가 너무 더워가지고 이제 그냥 밖에 나가기만 하면은 땀이 뻘뻘 나가지고 어떻게 한국 사람들이 날씨를 견디는지 모르겠다고 얘기를 했습니다. 그럼 엄마 PC, 벤지 PC 선수가 항상 경기를 할 때 보면은 막 에너지 넘치고 막 진짜 소리도 너무 많이 지르거든요. 평소에 집에서도 좀 이렇게 시끄러운 아이였을까요? Now, Benji Fishy though, we see him energetic and all fired up round after round. Was he always loud loud like this at home?
Very much so, yes. At night time, he would wake me up in the middle of the night. I was always shouting at Tim for being quieter. So yeah, always that loud.
맨날 이렇게 에너지가 넘쳐가지고 어렸을 때는 이제 엄마 PC가 자고 있는데 그냥 갑자기 밤에 막 시끄럽게 굴어가지고 빨리 다시 자 약간 이렇게 얘기를 했기 때문에 좀 혼내는 일도 많았다고 얘기를 하는데요. 그러면 형 PC, 벤지 PC가 오늘 복수를 좀 다짐하고 있는 것 같나요?
Look like a Benji, bro. He's
Bro
a
Fishy,
brother.
is Benji out there for revenge today?
Definitely, yeah. He doesn't like to lose at all. So yeah, he's going to be coming for him.
역시 승부욕이 넘치는 선수기 때문에 확실히 복수를 꿈꾸고 있다고 얘기를 했습니다. 이렇게 해서 벤지 PC 가족들 만나봤고요. 이어지는 경기 함께 즐겨보시죠. Right, thank you guys and back to Abyss.
Well, you heard it there. Benji Fishy's out for revenge. Thank you very much to Mama and Brother Benji for stepping out there to get this done. Now, look, they're definitely supporting Heretics, as I'm sure a lot of people here are. But
I'd be worried if they weren't.
I think the Gen G fans might be in the house. You could hear the roars in the rounds they were winning. 7 already on the board, and this pistol could extend that lead.
I will say the rounds they were winning were maybe a little bit more exciting though. Just
yeah.
the explosive 4Ks we've seen from this squad, be it Meteor or Texture, and I don't know if they're going to be stopping anytime soon. Speaking of that, just look at Miniboo, straight sprinting in towards the B side. Seems like both teams have a similar idea, but already it's going to be the, well, almost flood back in immediately. They don't even look like a retake. They're so fast to get back into the site.
Munchkin swinging, but nobody can get ahead of Meteor. He's hunted down
another one.
A 4K, which seems to be Gen G's speciality. An 8th round now locked in relatively flawless fashion. And that is a strong start to the second half in a map that we need to see Heretics win if you're a fan of Bind. Because Lotus, let's just say Gen G are pretty good there. And they certainly were last time these two teams faced.
It's so easy to forget when a team has someone like Texture, how good Meteor is at the duelist role. Like, this guy just pop flashes back into the site and 4 players are dead within a matter of seconds. Like, they really are just diffing the side of Heretics at the moment. And well, another pistol under their belt. For the side of Heretics, you can't really have much in terms of a reinvestment, a pistol or 2, maybe an extra bit of utility here and there that could be expended into this round. Other than that, just another chance to farm up some extra orbs. And with Meteor already 2 away, I kind of want to see him go hunting here.
We may well see that. There's already a gate crash put out towards the B site for a quicker rotation. I think that's going to be a big factor in how those, certainly the early gate crashes are used from Meteor. They haven't fought for A main. It is being spotted by Karen and no one around the area. As we can see, if they did push up and take that space, it would be in a bit of trouble. A late clear by Heretics on their way back towards this angle. And Karen, well, he doesn't want anything to do with it. Good thing as well, the Gecko flash was just seconds away.
Definitely being patient. But the expectation here is that you're not going to see too much aggression from the side of Gen G in a round like this. You have such a huge weaponry advantage again. It's only really Texture that hasn't invested into a rifle. They've been going very heavy in these second rounds, making sure the conversion is there. And well, with 35 seconds left on the clock, This might just be a shooting gallery for Munchkin.
30
He's waiting,
seconds
doesn't
left.
have a lot of support. This might mean that they can either get a trade or get themselves in for that after plant. He's going to try his best to slow them down.
The snakebite does keep them in position for at least a moment, and that's long enough for Lakia to strike. One more shot down below to Woot will deal with him, and it's just Boo. Nice and easy for the side of Gen G. 3 rifles carried forward. The Guardians will be in full effect, and a 9-5 lead at this point. Heretics really need to start putting rounds on the board, or this one's going to become a pretty bleak outlook on the series.
Yeah, they at least managed to get rid of 1 rifle, but as you can see, like I think it's probably just going to be Lakia. Yeah, Lakia will play with a pistol, so with how good the duelists have been, it might not even matter too much. And already, there seems to be crunch time for the side of Heretics. As it was said on the desk, I think losing your own map choice in this series is seeming like a bit of a death sentence, and with them being 4 rounds down already, it's seeming a bit more problematic. Meteor as well, with how he's been playing, you can understand why he's feeling confident. Drones going up on the other side, of Munchkin again is already going to do serious damage on the entry to the site.
Oh, Meteor's being caught. I think he might have gate crashed in, but he certainly didn't gate crash out. Mosh Pit takes him down. They know Munchkin was up top as well. Decent bit of information to work with, and it's the fight onto Mini Boo that Heretics come out ahead with. Now 4 versus 3. And one of those players left alive has the weaknesses. Thrash put through, no conversion on it, but Karen goes down. It was the aggression up top that got yet another advantage. Almost slipped away with Benji Fishy, and it does in the end. But with Lakia down, a 1 versus 3 for Texture. A big round from this man. We've seen plenty of them. 8 bullets left and no HP. 9-6. Heretics are back on the board.
Yeah, an important round for them to take. I was definitely a little bit worried with how things have started off, and I think what we've seen from Munchkin so far on this B defense is that a lot of the time he's going to be able to get them the opener. Just with pre-fires, he's very ready for any sort of B aggression with counter utility to slow them down, but it's the aggressive pace from Miniboo, catching a couple of players off guard, solid utility from Woot, and I think this is so important. As said, last time he played this map, he was 9-20. He's already beaten that and up the top of the board for the team. If Miniboo can build into the tournament, as Heretics have sort of talked about as a roster, as his brother talked about in the interview earlier, that could be the team that, well, went on the run to the final, even if he wasn't there for it.
Similar setup to what Gen G were going for on the attack side. 1 player lurking B, 1 lurking on mid, but Boo overextends slightly, gets his head ripped clean off. A valuable opening duel for Gen G. They don't have to get out of position to do it. There's no risks that can be punished, and the spam from Meteor is absolutely perfect, deleting Miniboo on the right angle, and now the split here from Benji. 2 players through main, fighting Meteor and still not able to drop him before he draws blood. Benji's the last man standing, 1 against 3. Spike dropped in the open, and at this point they know where he is from the door breaking.
He needs to isolate 1. He'll get the first chance and actually manages to win that. Uncharacteristic from Texture. And now has the information of where both of these players are. Karen just waiting. Watching towards the spawn, but the time now gives the game away. It's not clean, but still Benji's getting the job done. Another kill under his belt. 25 seconds to play.
God,
So
do he make
go for the
it?
plant just yet.
Do he make it? Anything is
Munchkin
possible,
slowly
bro.
making his move. The cam is actually going to give it away. He now knows exactly where his opponent is. May be able to try and retrieve that spike, but is almost trying to bait in his opponent for the fight. Try and get him to peek this one, sticking it all the way, but that snake bite is going to slow him a little bit more. Munchkin, a safe pair of hands. It got sketchy, it got dangerous. But even still, Gen G come out with a round.
Really well played by Munchkin. You could see as the time started to tick away, he knew what he was facing. He knew the initial plant, the snake bite denies it, and then you know he's going to try to fake it, but the timing absolutely perfect. Benji, though, he really did a good job in this 1 versus 3, especially, like you said, a rare whiff from Texture, and you really got to capitalize on those, and he very nearly did. But a 4-round lead still for Gen G, and the economy a little sloppy for Heretics. They're going to go in for a mixed buy, a couple of rifles, so some potential still. But Gen G certainly seem to have a commanding lead over this series, over this map at least so far.
Yeah, the scary thing as well is they are getting ever closer to just having every single ultimate online. Like they are a couple or 3 orbs away.
Oh, this is a miss. This is actually a
Managed
miss,
to get
bro.
past,
But he
the
was
thing
in
is,
perfect
it depends if
aim.
Karen is just going to decide to try and give up
He
this
was
angle.
in a
With the
perfect
way that he's
aim.
peeking it,
He was in perfect aim.
still feel like he's going to be safe to win the duel. Utility being thrown in. Potential that the rest of the players are just still going to try this dive in towards the B side. Hasn't been successful so far. Great flash, but even still the dart is better. Texture this time there with the opener. Karen does go down,
you got
though.
a
Again,
tap?
we see these lurks from Boo, and this time it's
Damn.
successful.
They'd already planned on going back towards Boo. You know, he's felt that he had the space. He heard the steps as they backed off, the Astra Star on B. And he took it. But winning that fight was essential. Otherwise, this whole squad would be left in no man's land. Instead, they can capitalize on the space. Ult by Meteor to grab the info, and he sees them. Grabs back site control. They've already flooded back in through the choke point. Now they just have to fight on the sides, and the drop from Lakia, it buys enough space. The kills
Boo!
swinging either way, but with Boo on 20 HP, it's down to Munchkin again, but this time, it's Heretics coming out on top. Gorgeous shot from Boo. He had to hit the first, and this time he did.
He only had 3 bullets remaining.
Oh
and,
my god, bro.
he was just
so
confident
insane.
in connecting that first bullet. Also incredibly low on HP, so I don't even know if he would have got a second chance, but this is what he's been hoping for. We've seen a few rounds now where he's been taking these fights on the other side of the map from the team, but I don't know if they would have expected him to be able to do this much. A big round victory, a boost in economy, and more importantly, it has sent the opponent's money straight down into the ground. A chance, potentially, for Heretics to build back into this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, they might not be able to buy weapons, big ones at least. They've got a Sheriff or 2, but it's the Blade Storm I'm worried about. Texture's had a lot of big rounds, starting it off with 2 4Ks. Mini Boo on the other side. No, it's the headshot, but the wall got in the way. Texture lands the blow, and now finds themselves an advantage for Gen G. However, the push is coming in on the other side, and, well, just look at the weapons there. It's a Sheriff and a Classic. They'll find it tough to deny this plant, or even to get damage.
A little bit of chip damage to Woot. An attempt by Karen to slow them down with utility, but that hasn't happened. And unfortunately for them, the player they killed didn't actually have a gun to play with, so they haven't been able to retrieve it. Clearly the pressure being felt, though, as Thrash has been thrown in. An extra cost to this round. Meteor will fall, but again, a few players now a little bit low. There is potential for Gen D to at least make this one costly.
Yeah, all eyes on the Blade Storm realistically, but 39 HP, it's going to be tough. You almost need the instant shot, and it's Benji to land it. A third for him in this round, and no, not quite the fourth. Karen somehow making this very costly with just the Classic. They can't reload the retrieved rifle in time. Double digits for Gen G, but they're being caught up on. Now the gap down to 2.
Yeah, again, I don't mind the way that Heretics are just making sure a lot of that early control can't be taken. Even in this round where it's just looking at Miniboo, he was 1 away from a Blade Storm, put him on a pistol, leave him on the other side of the map just so you can watch for that utility. And then their overall executions as a 4 have looked pretty good. I think especially the usage of that Dizzy. This time, though, it's looking a little different, a little bit more direct. And with Texture having an operator on the other side of the map, doesn't look like he's going to be challenged, at least for now.
Certainly pressure being put on A. This is going to be quite a quick play from the side of Heretics. Waiting out that crowd. Well, Karen, he's still in the corner. He's got some support, but the flash has blinded him for a moment. Woot did so well with that. The Dizzy took the side away from every player on site, and then it's an easy round. You'd imagine 4 versus 2, post-plant util for Rienz and for Boo, and Gen G not even going to try this one.
No, and that's the risk of playing those close
Yeah,
quarter angles.
probably they're gonna
it
be
almost
saving,
worked out
bro.
for Karen, but he did manage to get
They're gonna
himself
be
one.
saving.
But then when the
Probably.
Dizzy's in,
They're gonna
it's
save
so
it.
difficult to either like take the fights with the players that are swinging you or manage to actually shoot the flash instead. I think either way, he was going to end up dead. I think the same fate was there for Meteor. Again, the Dizzy having high impact and Woot himself being able to find that many kills. They're starting to get there with this attack side. And obviously, for Texture, Munchkin, saving the rifle, saving the operator is the main thing they need to do to make sure they can at least challenge a bit in the next round, because the rest of the players probably won't have too much to play with.
Good resurgence. Look at this from Woot. He even got blinded himself. I didn't notice that. And the triple on the back of it. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I'm thinking Karen's position is really what's going to get them across the line there, but just the perfect reaction to the Dizzy revealing the players. Although how he lands those shots, I'm not quite sure. Timeout for Gen G. They're going to take a moment to gather themselves. Their lead is now under threat with Heretics hot on their heels. They don't have much to fight with in this round. The operator for Texture, the rifle from Munchkin that they carried through, but investment is going to be very limited on the back of them.
Yeah, I think over the last few rounds, Heretics have started to realize that the more direct executions, maybe with a singular lurker, are what are working out better, especially moving away a bit more from that B site, because the early B site damage from Munchkin was actually very good. Like, he was getting the opener in a lot of rounds, or he was making it so that so many players heading into B were very low. With the A site executions, a lot of it feels more about like, okay, is Meteor going to win this fight? Can Karan delay? He's being left as more of an anchor player, and they're not really respecting their utility. They are throwing the Dizzy straight through it, and then just either having someone dash onto the site or maneuver their way onto the site in a different way in the form of Boo with his lurks. We need to see if there's going to be some sort of switch up now to potentially stack up that site a little bit more. It doesn't seem like it. Same setup on B, that operator for Texture, but again, it could just be the case of, okay, let's see if they go this way. If we can sort of hold onto the site as two, use those rifles. If they don't go this way, we just save them again.
I think it's the right call, for sure. Play the gamble. They'll push up on A, try to force the issue. Adding in a bit of a curveball to this round. Shock Dart as well thrown in for some damage, but doesn't land. It has slowed Heretics. And the idea here, you contest it early, you get the space, or you manage to push them back in the other direction. A lot of the time, that's what we'll see from teams after seeing that kind of resistance. In the late round, they'll expect that stack to be on A. The op still sitting around mid. Texture's making me dizzy the way he's flicking back and forth. It's the rifle on Munchkin. If it finds one or two, yeah, it could be huge, but Heretics aren't committed yet.
Surprised if they do end up heading back to B. I was going to say, the orb is still there, so they could go retrieve that, get Thrash online, but it seems like, at least in terms of where they feel confident,
the drones made them go back.
Site might be there. Now they are going to head over. And as said, if they get the orb, that could put them in a pretty powerful position. The only thing I'm worried about is they're heading back into the operator, the rifle. That's also where the Viper's Pit could be put into play. And there's a Hunter's Fury for Lakia if he wanted to try and buy time on the plant, if he could rotate into position. That's the main danger, but they don't know they're walking into it.
They have absolutely no idea. There's the snake bite, even going to cancel out the drone. 20 seconds left, barely any time. You can't take this back in the other direction. It's time to commit. Viper's Pick goes in. This slows them, but Texture, another uncharacteristic whiff. And the plant's around the backside. The pit's not covering it, but the Hunter's Fury stops it. Lakia grabbing one, looking to do a bit more damage as the push comes around the back, and it's beautiful! Karen's dropped them just in time, and with the spike down, the round is done! Gen G has made it work!
Bro. Wait,
absolutely gorgeous game plan, and what a result!
They were set up so perfectly for that, denying them the space on A, the expectation that maybe the rotation would go back to A because they'd seen so many players there. Instead, Heretics walked directly into the trap. The Hunter's Fury, as said, was ready and waiting to delay just that little bit more. And then you just have the wraparound from Karan while everything is going wrong, while there's a mess that's been created. He's able to capitalize. That is a tough round for Heretics to lose. They've still got the finances. They've still got Thrash, and well, they've still got their lives.
Can be thankful for that. 11-9 lead, even with a couple rounds where Texture's not his usual self. He's gone back out for more. They need to be careful, but they are lined up in a firing squad, waiting for this peak to come through. He might get one, but he can't get out, and not even the one to be found. Punish from Mini Boo. The rifle's in play for Heretics, matching up this time against the early aggression on A main. They won't be sent back in the other direction this time. At least it'll be of their own accord if they do.
Yeah, we've seen one double stack pay off. Maybe another can. For Meteor, the potential for an ultimate. The dimensional drift not far away. Munchin's going to be forced off again. It's the same, but with his fallback, Boo is there to capitalize. They finally managed to isolate that man. They haven't spotted Lakia. Even still, with the two-man advantage, they now look to head in on the other side of the map. Karan again trying to delay them as much as humanly possible, but both players within the site will fall. Lakia the last man standing and, well, no doubt going to try and hold on to the gun.
Very similar to what we saw last round in terms of the drones having super high impact. Yeah, the fact that you tag the player up top, you know he has to run, and that's when the swing comes in from backside, even waiting late into the round. The benefit of having global utility like that from Astra. 11 to 10, double digits for Heretics. You know, you would have thought they'd have it in the last round. They've gotten here in an unconventional manner, but the gap is down to just one again. Gen G, though, they've been guarding that lead with their life. See if they let it slip this time.
Yeah, I think, again, this is just another bit of credit that needs to go to Boo. I think he does fantastically well, even if it's just like a micro thing, like reading the way that an individual is falling back or how you could potentially pressure someone into making the exact move that you want them to do. I feel like he is someone that is a little bit underrated in that regard, especially on this map. I think he has a great read on how to play that attack side. 19 and 13 right now. Munchkin, again, it's the same. Initial contact, snake bite down, trying to slow them as much as humanly possible. This time, though, there is no opener. There's no success for him.
Mostly weak weapons. Guardians are on the way to help out. Guardians of the B site. See if they can hold it down. Meteor does well to find one, but that's all she wrote. Defense here by Texture, steps into the smoke, loses his sight for a moment, but now he's got it tied 2 versus 2. Rifles for both, and the Guardian from Texture has been sublime thus far. Spike in the open, but a smoke to retrieve it.
It's not dropped in the kindest of positions. Karon can play Overlord,
oh my God,
fight from
so
above,
good for tapping,
and it's left on Taboo again. 55 HP, a bullet will do the trick. And he knows that he needs to try and isolate, but that's why Gen G are going to look to team up together, fight this one. And I thought maybe he'd get away with it, but not quite.
Oh my God!
Karon and Texture, a deadly duo, if ever I've seen one. And once again, the success on the B side just hasn't been there.
No, it hasn't. Player like Karon's having so much impact in this game. Those 2 pieces he's found in a number of rounds have been the thing that tips the scale, dropping the spike just a number of rounds ago and one that they didn't stand that much of a chance in. Here, the reposition is absolutely perfect. You see it as soon as the first kill is found, the simple evaluation. I fought one close, the last guy was in heaven, and he's going to swing off that contact, of course. But Karon's a little wiser than that. He's not going to make it that easy. And again, Gen G defend their lead. They're not letting Heretics equalize now. 2 rounds in a row for Heretics to go to overtime, or they'll be facing into Gen G's map pick, a specialty map for this squad with a 1-0 deficit.
Yeah, and then the thing is, they've had their moments. They've had their opportunities throughout this map so far with, I think, blips that have cost them. Like, I think some of the individual skill we've seen from Gen G just padding the gaps of a map that they literally haven't played before in an official matchup. But also just the fact that I feel like sometimes when they get into the site, things can just get a little bit lost, and just losing the spike, allowing for those rotations to all come in, and angles even being created that actually ended up benefiting the players on Gen G. It's always going to be tougher. You also have to bear in mind the last time that they did have the victory on this map, it was an absolutely lights out performance from Riens. He's down at the bottom of the board, not having the same success. Sure, there's been other people that have stepped up in response. It's not like they are being boomed out of this map, but he's definitely a piece of the puzzle that they seem to be missing right now.
Texture's going up with the operator. He's careful of where that gap is. Doesn't want to go falling. Boo keeps this up. Takes a peek.
Oh my God.
In that window, he could be in a lot of trouble. Over on the A side, already the dash in from Miniboo. As he now looks to hold up close, but the spray is a bit whiffy. Again, Karon's able to make it work, but Texture falls on B on the rotate. An advantage now to play with for the side of Heretics. Gen G are going to have to try to recover this in the post plans. Heretics have given up site control completely. Someone's getting pulled off the map.
Already the spams have done so much damage.
Oh my God,
Lackey
they
are
have
gone.
bro.
Meteor and Karon,
They're
an
done,
ultimate
bro.
available, but probably
Let's go!
beat this
Let's
fight
go!
well.
We made it!
Meteor's position has been revealed. He's going to have to clean these players up so absurdly quick, and Boo has already fallen back into a much more passive position. Doesn't want to give anything away, and even if it's going to be Riens that doesn't get the kill in the end,
We made
he's got
this, bro.
teammates
Let's go. We made
to
it.
fight for him. Another successful
bro.
execution
Just
on this
one
A
more
site.
round,
That's it.
we're gonna
I
take
think the
this
A
map.
site plays
Just one
from
more round,
Heretics
we're
have
gonna
been
take this
sublime
shit, bro.
so
We're gonna
far
take this.
in this second half. They need themselves one more, and then we get talking about the record they have in OT, which I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it's something like rounds 1 was like 12-3 or 2. Like they genuinely are just a monster when they get into overtime.
Yeah, once they have that little breather in between the halves, someone like Boo always capitalizes on it.
Has he lost his voice? That was a little bit quiet for Benji.
Don't know what that was from Benji.
Another timeout.
I'll ask him later. A timeout from Gen G right here on the finish line. They've been stalled out. One more round needed, and it has been back and forth for the last 4 rounds. We keep that up, we'll be going to map 2 very soon. And Gen G are trying to make sure of that right now. The only problem is, again, those credits, they've fallen
Bro,
quite
we
low.
need an
We're not going to see
overtime.
many big buys out of this
We
squad. In
need
fact,
overtime,
even the one
bro.
Phantom that they've got in play is going to have to be light shields. You've got Guardians, a Bulldog. Well, that would be a glass
Go
cannon
Heretics.
Bulldog. I'm not
Let's
sure
go.
about that one, Munchkin.
That's the thing, though. These are the rounds that somehow they seem to make work. Like when it comes to this defensive side, you've had those huge hero plays off the back of a Hunter's Fury, or we've also seen the Guardian win them around as well. So it's not like even with weaker weaponry or pieces missing or things that you're going to look at like, yeah, if it is a glass cannon Bulldog, it's not necessarily going to make much sense. But with how much success they've had in these low buy rounds, I'm also looking at Heretics and going, okay, this second half, you lost the pistol follow-up. Other than that, you have been the better side on this attack. Can you now convert this? And I'm looking at the setup as well. I don't know what the read is. Maybe just for the fact that it has been such successful A-side takes, but there is an open B-side right now.
No shields, no utility on Munchkin. He is playing this just with a Bulldog, and it's because they want that mid-aggression early, but they don't get the fight there. Instead, it is the B-site that's threatened, and Heretics have definitely picked the weaker spot. They found the gap in play. Ult used by Meteor. He's got his decoy still to work with. It's going to be set up soon, and here it comes. The big play. The spray is good.
God.
Mini Boom dropped immediately.
Oh
Flash
my
from
God,
backside.
bro.
And the spray
Oh
from
my
Munchkin.
God.
Good
No!
job. He's got that
We're
rifle
not!
with Meteor.
No, we don't
Spearheading
want
this
it!
push. They've got the advantage locked in. That spray has done a lot of damage to Benji's below half. Sitting inside the cage, just behind it. It's faded and left him with nothing. Now a 1 versus 4.
They've used the divide
to try to spray, but he can't with the Cosmic Divide. Absolutely gorgeous from Gen G. They get it across the line at the last second, 13-11 on Heretics map pick.
Yeah, it was a battle, it was a brawl, it was a back and forth, but in the end, Gen G get the job done, and that's been the thing with this team. You can go into a map that they've literally never played before, they can pull out comp they use on other maps, and even still they take it over the line. And now, well, after this break, they're going to their turf.
Oh my God, that was crazy though. Oh my God, that was so crazy. Yeah, that was actually crazy though.
Ultimate いけるぞ。
目気をつけな。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。目気をつけな。フラッシュ。フラッシュ。目気をつけな。